Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we will be looking at the algebraic expression. My name is Jay Akwadaba and I hope you have subscribed to this channel. If you have not done so, I will encourage you to do so that you can receive notifications of any new updates on our channel. Okay, so let us start. Algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that contains a number, a variable, and an operation. So I guess you have usually been saying mathematical expressions of such. So this is a mathematical phrase. And this is an example of an algebraic expression because it contains a number, it contains letters, it contains mathematical signs or operations. Okay, so for the letters, there's a particular name that we call letters when they appear in an algebraic expression. We call them variables. Okay, we will sooner or later know the meaning of the definition of these words, these terminologies. Okay, and about expression of such, 4 squared minus 3 plus 5. Here, you cannot call this an algebraic expression because it doesn't contain a letter or a variable. So this is a numerical expression. Okay, so you see the difference. We have a numerical expressions that contains numbers and operations, or we call it signs, and algebraic expression containing numbers, variables, and operations. All right. So there are a few terminologies that we need to actually understand. And these terminologies include variable, constant, operations, terms, coefficient. Okay, and a variable is a letter or a symbol that represents an unknown value. Okay, so you will usually see letters in algebraic expressions. So they are called variables because the value that they could take on may vary, okay, for a particular situation. All right, so that is why we call them variables. And for constants, constant is a number that cannot change its value. So a constant, the value of a constant doesn't change in any algebraic expression. It remains the same. And for other operations, operation is any of the mathematical signs which include the plus, the minus, the times, the division, and etc. Because it also includes parentheses, includes the exponent, or we call it power. So they are the operations in mathematics. And terms. Terms is a number. A term is a number or variable, or a number and a variable combined by multiplications or division. Okay, so terms are usually numbers or variables, or the combination of two of them, but they will be combined in a special way, either by multiplying the number and the variable or dividing them. Okay, but it is not by combining them, by adding. No. So in other words, terms can be formed by either multiplying two values or dividing two values, or for the value to just stand by itself. Okay, but once addition comes in, then it separates two terms. Okay, or addition or subtraction. So addition and subtractions are the signs that actually separate terms in an algebraic expressions. We will see some examples. And coefficient. Coefficient is the number part of a term that has a variable. Okay, so if you have a term that is that comprises of a number and a variable, the number part is what we call the coefficient, and the letter part is the variable. Okay. All right. So let us see this example. All right. Our previous example. So we have 4y squared minus 3y plus 5. Now in here, let us identify the first one is variable. Let's identify the variable in this algebraic expression. We say that variables are letters. Okay, so in here we see one letter, we see y. So it means y is the variable in this algebraic expression. So we say the variable is y. And the constant is a number that cannot change its value. So if you see here, we have 4 is a number, 2, 3, minus 3, and 5. Okay, but all of them would not be considered to be constants. So we say the constant in here is 5. And the operations, okay, operations are the signs. So in here, we have 4y squared. So between 4 and y, there is an implied multiplication sign. So we say the operations that are functioning in this expression are the multiplication. And we have a power here. So we say exponent. We have a minus sign. We have a plus sign. So these are the operations in this expression. Now the terms. For the terms, we say term is a number, a variable, or a combination of the two of them combined with multiplication or division. So if you see here 4y squared, you see that 4 and y squared is combined by multiplication, so it is a term. And this is minus, so the minus here separate this from this. So we have a different term here, minus 3 and y, minus 3 times y. Okay, so this is another term, and 5 by itself is another term. So in other words, within an expression, our terms are separated by either minus or plus. Okay, so if you see in this expression, you have minus separating this term from this term, and you have plus also separating this term from this term. So we have 3 terms here, and the terms are 4y squared, minus 3y, and 5. Okay, so these are the 3 terms in this expression. Okay, so for coefficient, we say it's a number part of a term that has a variable. So if you look at here, we have 3 terms. These are the 3 terms. So terms that have variables. So coefficient cannot be a part of a term that doesn't have a variable. Like here, the 5. 5 is a term, but it doesn't have a variable. So it means you cannot consider 5 to be a coefficient because it doesn't have a variable. Coefficient only exists when a term has a variable. So here we have a variable here, y squared is a variable. The variable is y. And here we also have a variable y. So we can have a coefficient here. So the number part of this is the coefficient, and that is here is minus 3. So the coefficient here is minus 3, and the coefficient here is 4. Now, this 2 is a number, but this 2 only tells us that how many times y is being multiplied. So we will not consider it to be a normal part of this expression, okay, of this term. And so the coefficient in this expression will be 4 and minus 3. So let's see this example. Which of the following is an algebraic expression? For A, we have 2 plus 6 minus 20. Okay, what we do here is we know that algebraic expressions must contain a letter, which is a variable, a number, and an operations. So here we do not see any letter or a variable. So this is not an algebraic expression. Okay, for B, we have 2m plus 9. We have a number, we have operations, and we have a variable. So yes, this is an algebraic expression. And here we have the coefficient of this is 1. Okay, A, and A, B is the same as A times B. So yes, there is an implied operations in here. Here we say it is an algebraic expression. And D, we have 4h minus 7 equals 0. Okay, we have a number, operations, and a variable. But in addition, we also have an equation. Okay, so because of this equation, this is not going to be an algebraic expression. Okay, this part of it is an algebraic expression. Okay, this part, the 4h minus 7, is an algebraic expression. But because it is equals here to 0, all right, because of this equation, then it becomes an algebraic equation instead of an algebraic expression. Okay, so let us see another problem. Write the following phrase in algebraic expression. A, 3 more than P. Okay, so usually phrases, these are word phrases. Okay, these are all word phrases. So we can convert the word phrases into mathematical phrases or mathematical expressions. All right, and that is what we do. So you carefully read the problem and know what implications it is in terms of mathematics. So let's see this. It's a 3 more than P. Okay, so here we could say 3 more than is addition, so it's plus P. Okay, so this is 3 more than P. All right, so in other words, it actually becomes P plus 3. So this is 3 more than P. And B, the product of M and 4 increased by 5. Okay, so the product of M and 4 is the same as M times 4. Okay, product is multiplication. Increase by 5. Increase is addition, so plus 5. Okay, this is the direct translation of what we just read. So this becomes 4m plus 5. Okay, so this, the product of m and 4 increased by 5 is just simply 4m plus 5. Then C, the product of 2 and the sum of a number and 5. So you have the product of 2 multiply, okay, P, because you say product, the product of 2n, so you multiply that by what? The sum of a number and 5. So what's that number? So when we say a number, it means it could be any value. We do not know that value. So that value may change based on the situation. So we usually say a number will be represented by a variable. Okay, so a number could be any of the letters. All right, so which is a variable. So we say 2 multiplied by y. So y is that number. It could be P, it could be M, it could be A. It could take on any, you could use any letter except O, because O is also same as 0. All right, so you have the product of 2 and the sum. The sum is addition, the sum of a number and 5. So the sum of a number and 5 is y plus 5, and the product of 2 and that number is 2 times. We know parenthesis is also multiplication times y plus 5. I hope you actually get the concept that we are trying to build as we move along in algebraic expression that will lead us into algebraic equations. Thank you.